All right, guys, welcome to the call. So I wanted to mention that our event that's coming up on April 13th, thriveordieevents.com. We just landed an incredible speaker, Barry Habib. Dave, do you know Barry Habib? So he is like the Warren.
I don't know him, but he doesn't know me either, probably. So
he might know you.
yeah.
Barry Habib is like the Warren Buffett in the mortgage space. This guy has a lot of mortgage people around the country. He's on news stations constantly. He's an enormously intelligent guy.
I know who he is. I just Googled him. Yeah, I know who he is.
So he's going to be at our Thrive or Die event. He'll be zooming in, but presenting to us. And we have some other exceptional speakers from all different brokerages. It is going to be such a day of learning. Early bird pricing is $97. It includes lunch. It's going to be a day that will knock your socks off. We have people like Tammy Pardee, who does she did 333 transactions last year, which was like $700 or $800 million. She's literally one of the best in the country. Richard Schulman with KW, he did like 600 deals last year. So we have virtually the top agents from every brokerage coming together and just sharing how they're crushing it. So if you haven't bought the ticket already, it will sell out. There's only room for about 275 people, maybe 300 in the room, but early bird ends on Friday. Early bird ends on Friday. It goes from $97 to $147. Still, it'll be a bargain, but check it out at thriveordieevents.com and grab a ticket. I'm super stoked about Barry Habib. This guy's incredible. So let me admit. All right, great. So today we're going to talk about administration and staffing. You might not think that applies to you necessarily. Administration and staffing. I don't have an assistant. I don't have any admin. I don't have any staff. It really does apply to each and every one of us. And the reason is because if you don't have a staff, you are the staff, right? In each one of your businesses. Okay, I got you, Joe. Thanks, buddy. So if you don't have a staff, you are the staff, right? If you don't have somebody making your flyers and managing your escrows, and then you're the one doing that. So this is a very relevant topic, administration and staffing, not just for people that have a staff, but for people that are acting in those roles as well. Because on today's call, we're really going to discuss how to prioritize our efforts so we can be very effective at building our business. So point number one for administration and staffing. The three most important jobs of the assistant are handling all of your incoming calls when you're in the office, handling all of your paperwork, and keeping you on schedule. Now, when we say assistant, remember, if you don't have an assistant, you are the assistant. So ask yourself this question: how good are you at prioritizing? Are you just grabbing the phone every time it rings? Does it interrupt your day constantly? Or do you have blocked out times where you can really manage important things on your schedule and you let your phone go to voicemail? All your paperwork. Are you managing all of your paperwork, or do you have a transaction coordinator? Even if you can't afford an assistant, before I could afford an assistant, I had a TC. And I delegated everything I possibly could. In fact, that TC at the time charged, I want to say, $400 a transaction. And I said to Marcy, can I pay you $600 a transaction and have you do these 1, 2, 3, or 4 extra tasks? Really lean on these people. And number 3, keeping you on your schedule. Our schedule really should be primarily in income producing activities. So if you don't have an assistant that can keep you on your schedule, how good are you holding yourself accountable to staying on the schedule. So again, in discussing administration and staffing, if you don't have a staff, you are the staff, right? Like, listen, somebody's got to take the trash out. Sometimes I'm the janitor, I'm the cleaner, I'm the this, I'm the that. That's how we all are in our own business, right? We wear many, many hats. Point number 2, having an assistant starts with our ability to delegate as much as possible so we can try and stay on track with listing and selling property. I think everybody would agree there are some priorities when you're building a business. Taking listings, getting buyers into escrow. That's priority. That's keeping our eye on the ball. And those are income producing activities. So having an assistant starts with the ability to delegate. Delegate means to give away, right? To give up responsibility for. Again, if you don't have an assistant, do you have a transaction coordinator? Or are you squeezing your business so tight that you are not willing to give up any level of responsibility to a transaction coordinator? Next point. Get your ego out of the way. Let the assistant do their job, or the transaction coordinator. Let them do their job that they've been assigned to. They can probably do it better than you can. Who on the call does not use a transaction coordinator? Just manages all everything himself? Phil. Do you have trust issues, Phil?
No, I don't have trust issues. I really don't. So in the past few years, I've been averaging about 24 transactions, and I'm able to manage it myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something it's not that I don't want to pay for it, but it's just I'm really good at what I do. The only thing I get help, Aaron, is with when I do leases, is I have somebody do the showings for me, and a lot of times when you double land, so I just give the other side to this agent that I know locally, and that's the only help, because that's something that is very time consuming. But
absolutely,
paperwork is easy. I mean, it's just, what is there, like 15 minutes, you're done. Sorry.
Well, that's 15 minutes and you're done.
Yes.
Not 15
yes.
minutes and I'm done. So
Yeah.
you clearly have an analytical nature to you where it probably is very easy for you. Phil represents a small percentage of the population.
Yeah.
That is, if you were in real estate, you'd probably be an engineer or something, Phil, right? Because your mind just works. Right? But not everybody's like that. So for those of us that maybe have a slight allergy towards paperwork, bring somebody into the equation that really you can delegate and trust so that you can do what you do best. And even for someone like you, Phil, if it is in fact 15, 20 minutes, if you in fact are spending a small percentage of your day on income servicing type activities, fabulous. But as you start to really track your level of efficiency and proficiency throughout the day, if you find yourself getting sucked into this rabbit hole of just servicing, and you're not doing the appropriate amount of income producing activities, then consider that option. Just track it. Yeah, go ahead.
Majority of my time goes with 2-hour phone calls with clients on strategizing and scheming and negotiating.
Yeah.
This is something that you need to get away from it, right? Because it's just hours and hours and hours of phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the problem lies. I mean, but I can't really delegate that.
Right. Okay, next point. Delegation means to give something away, to give up responsibility, to give somebody else authority, let someone else do the job. Remember, you are still ultimately responsible for what happens. It doesn't mean, so in other words, it doesn't mean that the buck stops with you still. So when you delegate, there's a caveat, which is make sure you're delegating to somebody that truly is good at what they do. If you do have a team, if you do have an assistant already, if you do have a transaction coordinator, make sure they're the right person. If they're not the right person, now is a great time to really work on, especially with the market being a little bit slower, now is a great time to look at, should we be interviewing other people for that position, for that role? even a transaction coordinator. You know, should I be interviewing 1 or 2 or 3 other people that are really effective at doing this role and see if they will be more efficient and more detail oriented. Next point, there are certain administrative functions that you will probably have to perform. Schedule them for exact times during the day, or they will completely take over your day, which will then screw up your time management system, right? So what we've discussed about in the past is a perfect schedule is like 75% of your day doing income producing activities and 25% day doing income servicing activities. We can never fully get away from it. We're always going to be participating it in some degree, in some manner, but make sure it's on your schedule. If it's not on your schedule, it can very easily turn into 3, 4, 5, like all of a sudden the day is gone and you spent your precious time doing things that could have very easily been delegated. Okay, next point. There's only 2 types of activities for you as an agent: income producing and income servicing, like we just discussed. Administration is an income servicing job meant for an assistant. Your goal should be to spend 75% of your day on income producing activities. That's just a repetition of what we just went over. Next point, minimize the number of times that you touch a file and it will increase the chances of the file closing. It'll also increase your efficiency throughout the day. What does that mean? Minimize the times you touch a file. If something comes across in a file that has to be dealt with, deal with it. You know, either delegate it, that's the number one thing. Delegate it to somebody that can take care of that and see it through, or just take care of it. Don't keep kicking the can down the road. In the past, I have had a major tendency to do that, and I've been working on that. Like, you know, I get an email and I save it as new in my inbox, and I have all these new emails stacking up that I have to, you know, get to, rather than just, you know, delegate it to a certain time of the day and efficiently go through and take things to completion and just knock them the hell off the list. Next point. This is kind of cool. This is something that a lot of us don't think about. Your affiliates are important parts of the administrative process. Use them efficiently. So you guys all, even if you're not on a team, you actually have a team. You have a title person. You have an escrow officer. You have a home warranty person, right? You have a lot of people that are there to support you in the process. Lean on them. These affiliates are really intelligent people that are there to support your business. So they're just, you know, any administration that you can delegate to them would be great. For instance, before we had the ability to do it internally, our title guy was happy to run stuff around town for us if we needed it. Drop off something to a client, pick something up and deliver it to us. He was running around anyway, so he was there to help. He was happy to serve. Your lender, it's okay if the buyer has questions, really lean on the lender to take a more active role in communicating with the client. You don't have to be the source of, you know, I understand that clients come through us to get the information, but if the title person and the lender and the escrow person had a more proactive role in the process, it probably would take a lot of the burden off your plate. So that's a good thing to talk to your service people about, how they can get involved more and participate more, because they're just an extension of you, an extension of your team. There are 2 basic administrative rules to follow. Number 1, never let it interfere with your prospecting or presentation time. And number 2, never let it take more than 25% of your total day. So I know this sounds like a broken record, but it's so valuably, it's like so important. It really, really is. Our job is not to push paper around. Our job is to talk to people and find people that want to buy a home or want to sell a home, right? That's it. We need to spend the the majority of our day doing that. So never let administration work replace our prospecting time, our presentation time, our appointment time. Would you ever cancel a listing appointment because you had to push around paperwork? Like, no way. You know how valuable that time is. Would you ever call up a buyer and say, listen, I know you want to go take a look at this $3 million home at 3 o'clock today. We push that off because I have to, I don't know, I have to go through SkySlope and make sure that everything is, I'm auditing my file and make sure on a different escrow. Like, no, you understand the value of presenting to a client. So by time blocking a schedule with administration time in your schedule, let's say you work typically 8-9 hours a day. That means you can take 2 hours. That's a huge time block of time if you need it. Right at the, what is the dead spot in your day? For most people, it's right after lunch. Call it 1 to 3 p.m. If you had that blocked off and you had a schedule that was printed out, that was posted on the wall in your office that you could look at and just say, okay, where am I right now? 1 o'clock, I'll do my administration work. And if you knew that you devoted that amount of time, then if the phone rings or things come up and they come up at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, I don't have to deal with it right now. There's nothing that's that important that can't wait until 1 o'clock when I have my admin time blocked off on my schedule. So consider that. Consider I'm actually going to do that because we just got off another call where now I'm going to, again, create a doable schedule. I've had one in the past, but recently I've gotten away from it. I'm going to make one and print one out that I can look at every day as a constant reminder of what I should be doing at every time block throughout the day. Something funny happens when you can block off that admin time or block off, listen, I'm going to screw around. Let me just take 30 minutes and just call it screw around time. It really makes you more efficient with the rest of your day because you're giving yourself that time block to do those things you need to do. Next point. Have a weekly meeting with your staff and your affiliates to review any existing problems. Give your staff permission to solve problems. And when we say staff, again, it could be transaction coordinator. So a weekly meeting. A lot of people don't do this, and it could be a really valuable thing to do. What if you had a standing appointment, a 15-minute call with your title person, a 15-minute call with your escrow person, a 15-minute call with your the lender that you work with, and just every week you came together, you went through whatever business that you're going through, whatever challenges that they're having, things you need to know about, things you want to tell them about, things that you can delegate to them. Hey, would you quickly just give this client a call, let them know what's happening with their loan? Because guess what? They're going to call me if we don't call them. So go ahead and give them a call, send us both an email with an update. That would be great. But consider that, just having a regular standing meeting with the people that are important to you in building your business. And guess what? You're important in building their business. A title guy would love to have a standing appointment to see how they can help you build your business. What can they take off your plate? How can they make your life easier? They're looking for any opportunity possible to partner with you at a higher level. And in the same vein, these men and women are so great to us. We're looking for any opportunity possible to support them in their business. Guess what? The more we support them, it means the more business we're doing. I mean, that's a win-win, right? Same thing with escrow. The more they help us, the more escrows we send them. Escrow officers work on commission. They love getting escrows, and we want to help these ladies and men, very few men in the escrow business, but mostly ladies. We want to support them. So be in that regular conversation. It really is very, very effective. Next point, administration and staffing. Share your goals and objections with your staff. And then when I say staff, I mean lender. I mean title person, I mean escrow person, I mean transaction coordinator. Share your goals with your staff, as it gives them the feeling that they are part of something and they have a position of importance. Guess what? These people are all looking for business, just like you and I are out there looking for buyers and sellers every day. Imagine your buyers and sellers saying, hey, Linda, can we get together, once a week and just share goals and objectives of what we're trying to accomplish in real estate? It would really help me kind of build my real estate portfolio. You'd be like, hell yeah, like sign me up for that. In fact, let's do it. If we can get every one of our clients on that bandwagon, we'd be all about that. So share your goals and objectives with these people. Hey, listen, to your title person, to your mortgage person, hey, I have a goal to do a dozen transactions this year. I have a goal to do 36 transactions this year. I have a goal to do X number of whatever I want to do. Guess what? Do they know people that want to buy or sell real estate? Like, tell them, I have a goal to sell more real estate. One of the things I want to ask you to do is keep your eyes and ears open for people that need to buy or sell. When's the last time you asked your title person or your lender or your escrow person? Guess what? Last year, my escrow officer, we sold a house to her son and our daughter and son-in-law. That was pretty awesome. Does she know a lot of real estate agents? She does, right? One of my title people, his assistant, bought a house. She bought it through us. Are you guys asking? She could have bought it through any of you. We all work with the same people. But are you reminding them that you really are looking for more business, you have a goal to fulfill, and you want to enroll them in that goal? You want to send more business to them, and you need their help and their support to send business right back to you. So share your goals with them. Really get them involved. Next point is, when you're working with an assistant, a transaction coordinator, a title, an escrow, any of these people, termite. I asked my termite guy for business. Why wouldn't I? I give him business. I give him a ton of business. When you're working with any one of these people, praise and acknowledge. Praise and acknowledge. Thank them, acknowledge them, praise them, include them, and get them excited about you both winning together. These people are wonderful partners. A lot of the point of this call on administration and staffing is for everyone to realize the wonderful support network that we each have around us. People rooting for us, the people that want us to succeed in a professional. Like, listen, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your kids, your cousins, your best friends, like, they want us to succeed. But guess what? We have people in a professional environment that really, truly want to partner with us to support us in our success. Praise, acknowledge them. Remember, negative attitudes among your staff need to be dealt with immediately, as they're contagious. They're cancerous. Negativity. So in looking at all these relationships, there's no room for negativity. If you're working with a transaction coordinator that is just grumpy all the time, what kind of experience is that for your clients? You don't want to have your clients deal with that person. You end up getting drawn into it because you want to make things right. There's so many wonderful, positive people out there. Let's make sure we're working with wonderful, positive people. No room for negativity, that's for sure. So that was a relatively short list of items talking about administration and staffing. But let's open up the mics today. What's on your mind? What challenges are you having, if any? Phil, go ahead.
Why every single time I put an offer, there's multiple offer, hundreds over asking?
Yeah, I tell you, it's a funny time in the market right now. There's a major supply issue, and there's tremendous demand. And guess what? It doesn't seem like it's gonna get any better. It's from what we can see, this is the lowest inventory we've ever had. And as from what Barry Habib actually shared with us at an event I was at a week and a half ago, as we are in recession, that is going to slow down the word's escaping me. Sean, help me out.
Or bring down the interest rate? Or the recession is going to bring down inflation?
Inflation. So as we have recession, inflation comes down and interest rates go with inflation. So really what that means is that interest rates are going to come down in the next couple of months because of the recession. People think recession is bad for real estate. It's great for real estate. As interest rates come down, what he shared is every 1% that interest rates drop, it opens up 5 million more buyers nationwide that are going to purchase. Guess what? Even if jobs go down by 1 million and interest rates, go down, we've got 4 more million people that need to buy a home. Right now, we are in 2007, there was 4 million properties for sale. And that was a hot market in 2007, 2006 and 7. Right now, there's 900,000. And 50% of them are under contract because we have such low inventory. So we are having a massive inventory problem. The two things I would suggest, Phil, are number one, work at being better at getting your offers accepted. And what I mean by that is prepare your buyers to do absolute anything they can to step up in a big way and secure that property. And number two, work on your rapport building skills with listing agents to really kind of squeeze out the information. I'm usually on the listing side. And when agents are really good about asking me for information, it's really hard for me to keep that information inside. When they ask me great questions, I answer them. Even if I don't want to, I just I want to help. So, hey, Phil, tell me, listen, I know you can't share too much, but how many offers do you have on the property? Anything, I just want to really help my buyer get this offer accepted. Is anybody above asking price? I know you can't give me a specific number, but is it way above or just a little bit above? And when you say way above, is it like 100 grand above, right? And they're like, a little more, a little less. Like you can get very specific just by asking questions and developing rapport. So that's
Aaron, what's more important, or the timeline to close on this house, or the money that they're getting?
Was that to me?
That type of
Say that again. Say that again, Joe.
No. And what's more important to your seller, the timeline on closing, the amount of money they're getting?
Sure. Great question. Yeah.
Understanding the motivation of the seller helps me package my buyer's offer better.
Yeah. Just it really helps me when a buyer's agent really wants to know, how can I make your life easier? You tell me, I want to deliver an offer that your clients will be stoked about. Just help me craft this offer in the perfect way. Yeah, is it terms? Is it price? You tell me and we'll make it work. But the next thing I would say is really the writing is on the wall that it's challenging out there with buyers. To me, I see that as we have to find listings. What I'm starting to do, Phil, with everybody, so I just made my top 100 list, past clients, center of influence, my top 100. And I'm going to call every one of those people. And I'm going to say, if they live in East Manhattan Beach, I'm going to say to them, and we happen to have buyers, we have either myself, my team, or somebody in my company, without question, we have buyers in every portion of the market. So I'll call somebody and I'll say, listen, I was thinking about you because my company, we have buyers and we were just chatting about this in your neighborhood. Is there anybody you can think of right there in your neighborhood that's thinking about selling their home? And just open up that conversation. We've got people that are like desperately looking to buy. There's no inventory out there. Inventory is super tight. It's really slim. And I need some help. Who can you think of, Phil, in your area? Have you heard of anything? Neighbors, anyone on your block or in the neighborhood that you've heard about that might be selling their house? And you have a conversation about that, and just, I want to stay in closer contact with you. Is there anything I can do for you, Phil? Anything that you guys are thinking about as far as moving or investing, or any questions you have about the real estate market? Tell me how I can help. So I'm really getting way, way, way more engaged with my people as things are slower and going deep, super deep. And I did that with someone yesterday, and she sent me a referral yesterday. She's like, yeah, I know somebody that wants to buy. It wasn't a listing, but I thought that was amazing. I never do this. And now I'm just like, I called her up and she's like, yeah, I know somebody, one of my kids' friends, we were just talking about it. And I'll tell you exactly what I did. Her name is Denise. I called up Denise because actually one of my neighbors is listing their house with somebody else. So I said, Denise, I know this is not of interest to you, but one of my neighbors is listing their house, and it's this number of bedrooms and bathrooms and this price, and it's coming on the market. It's such a cool house, and I love the neighborhood. Who do you know that might be interested in something like that? And she's like, oh, I know somebody. Later that day, I get a phone call from this guy, Jerry. Hey, Aaron, I was referred to you by Denise. I was like, oh. It was crazy how that works. So use this opportunity, this frustration in the market, use this breakdown as a breakthrough. Let it be a point of a bold move that you're making in your business that you're going to implement as part of your schedule every single day.
Yeah,
and maybe share with everybody in your database. You can say, listen, inventory is super tight right now. I wanted to reach out to you and just ask you for some help. We have buyers in almost every city looking for something, but we're having a major inventory crunch. So I wanted to just ask your help, Phil. Who do you know that might, be thinking about selling their home right now? Go ahead, Phil. You're going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I've been sending like letters out to specific areas, if anything off market. I've been reaching out to top agent network that I'm a part of. There's a whole bunch of off market stuff. It's just that the problem is, and I go to these agents, I start removing some of the contingencies, and I start literally telling them, look at all the sales I've done. You're going to close with, as is. The problem's my buyers who feel that they have cash or significant amount of cash, and whatever the hell the news that they've been listening to, wherever they're getting advice, and they think they could still get a deal, which is no longer the case. We're not a fourth quarter of 2022. So yeah. I think I definitely need to educate them more, but then I don't want to come off as your used car salesman, try to sell.
Jackie, do you have the YouTube link for the Barry Habib talk from the Fast Forward conference? Can you put that in the chat right now? So Phil and everybody else, grab this link, watch this video, and I literally, that guy that was referred to me yesterday, I sent him this video because he's currently renting. He's paying $5,200 a month, and he's got a great deal for a great house in East Manhattan Beach. But I sent him this video, and it really shows the ridiculous importance of what's going on in this current market, and the importance of purchasing and understanding the stats and where the market is headed. So this might be a good one to send to your buyers and to watch yourself. Dave, you'll get a kick out of this video. You're going to be like, holy, you'll more than anybody, you'll get this information and be like, I can use this for my clients.
And Phil, just to kind of echo the topic of today, when you're in a multiple situation, it's very easy for you to lob a call to the lender and say, hey, can you just call the listing agent and let them know, that, hey, because I mean, I do this all the time. I'll call the listing agent and say, hey man, this buyer, Aaron Klapper, I mean, he's going to perform. The money's there, job is there. This is an easy loan for me. Let's work together. I mean, it's fine to put the full court press on him with somebody other than you. And if you don't have a lender that's doing that, you need to find one. And it's really the same across all that, like Aaron was saying, your transaction coordinators, your processors, your title and escrow people. If you're not in love with these people right now, you need to find new people, because there are fantastic people in the business. And if you don't have them, somebody else is going to get them, and it's going to be a loss for you.
The other thing I'd mention, Phil, is from a listing agent's perspective. I'll tell you what I like to hear from a buyer's agent. This is like music to my ears. When somebody says a couple of different things like, I just want to make sure the deal's not going to fall apart, right? Like if we have 6 offers on a property, I want to make sure that we don't screw it up, that we find the person that's going to really close, because guess what? If that deal falls apart, we've lost all momentum. We're not going to be able to gain that momentum back. It happens once and then we lose it. You know, we sold a property in Redondo recently for $1,950,000. We had 6 or 7 offers. It fell apart. The second time around, we sold it for $1,850,000, $100,000 lower. Now it was as is and it needed some repairs, but the bottom line, it sold for less. And that's generally, so as a listing agent, as a seller, you don't want it to fall apart. So when somebody says to me, listen, I've been working with this client for 8 months. We've seen a lot of real estate. We have never written an offer on one. This is it for them. They are absolutely infatuated with this property. They are super easygoing people. They follow my lead. They're, you know, these types of things that really paint a little picture for me. If it's like, listen, they just started looking. This is the first offer they've ever written. I've never worked with them before. Like, I wouldn't highlight stuff like that because that makes me feel really uncomfortable. But if it's like, no, dude, like, you know, they are infatuated and in love with this property. I've showed them a lot and they've never displayed this level of motivation. They will do whatever it takes to buy and close on this property because they know they're not going to find anything like this, you know, for years and years and years to come. So you tell us what we got to do. These guys are in it. And I would also explain, you know, if you have worked with them before, I've worked with these guys before, they're not nitpicky. They're not going to screw up a deal. Another thing that I would consider doing is saying, listen, anything below, you know, $5,000, they're not going to ask for. These guys are in, as far as repairs, if there's a major system issue, if there's, you know, if there's a major leak in the plumbing, it's all wrecked. If there's a huge roof leak that nobody knew about, right? But these guys are not about stains on walls and torn screens. Like anything below $3,000 or $5,000, they're not going to ask for it. Our goal is to not ask you for a single repair request item. We just want to be, you know, we have a very short period of time just to make sure that there's nothing major going on, but otherwise we're buying it as is. I'd love to hear that. Go ahead, Phil.
And so I even go to the extent of, let's just remove inspection contingency on a condo. I don't really care about condos, whatever. It is what it is, whatever it is. The problem is like, show me the money. And going to the loan, yes, they call the lender, David, but I have my license as well. I have a mortgage origination license. So I even looked at their stuff, you know? So the problem I'm just facing is just show me the money. If they love it so much, come up. And these, sorry, I've almost said it. They won't come up. They just won't come up. And it's like, so you can see my hair is all gray.
Well, Aaron covered this a couple weeks ago. If they don't want to come up, they're not ready to buy. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you, but that's just, I mean, if you can't move them off the number, they're not ready to buy right now.
Or
They may
let
also
them submit an offer and let them get rejected a few times. So they will feel it. They will actually feel the pain. And then the next one, if there's a next one, right? They'll step up. I don't know. That's the problem I'm facing.
And it could also be, Phil, that they are receiving faulty information. They're watching the news. They think that a crash is going to come. I'm telling you, did you grab that link for the YouTube video?
I copied to Word. I'm about to send it to my entire database.
Yeah, watch it and really just absorb it and put yourself in a buyer's shoes. And you watch that video and you're going to say, when you're a buyer, you're like, I just need to get my hands on something. The data doesn't lie. There's no spin to this. It's pure data. And Barry is, I mean, this guy is very sought after, you know, but the data doesn't lie, and he has a way of stitching it together that anybody can understand, and he'll stitch it together in a way that you have never seen before. And it's stuff that you can actually take and talk about and make it very actionable. So you can even trim it down or take pieces of it, because not everyone's going to watch a 45-minute video, right? But you can take, you know, a few graphs from that, and you can actually stitch together your own little marketing report if you like. Linda, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just thinking, you know, one of the things I've heard, and it probably was touched on here was, make sure that they are fully underwritten. And then also you can show them, if they don't come up in price and they keep losing these offers, where the market is going and what it's going to cost them, in a month or two, how much more it's going to cost them. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but that's what I was thinking about.
100%.
Let me just interject if I can, Aaron, because I want to make sure
Yeah.
that there's no confusion here. A lot of times lenders will say that the file's been completely underwritten, but nothing's completely underwritten until the appraisal is in and until a contract price is established. Because if somebody goes 50 grand over asking and they don't have the extra 50 grand to bring to close, deal's dead. So I think Phil's right to be, kind of careful with this, but I've seen these things go, bad where realtors start making promises that unfortunately buyers can't keep. And buyers maybe aren't that aware. So again, you stay in close contact with the lender and make sure that you're not out kicking your coverage, because you could end up with egg on your face as an agent too.
Yeah, and back to Phil's original question, really. I mean, these are sometimes cash buyers. So qualification is not an issue. They can close and they can do it quickly, but and they can remove inspection contingencies sometimes. And there is no appraisal and there's no loan. They're just not willing to step up in price. And Sean had an experience like that recently. He wrote an offer for $1.8 million, full price offer on a property. The guy was very well qualified, just didn't want to step up. Guess what? There were 6 or 7 offers on that property, and he knew it. And Sean found out all the information, and the guy said, he's willing to lose it. That's okay. It's not worth more than $1.8 million to me. And that's okay. And guess what? Sean being able to say to this guy, are you going to force someone to buy a house first of all? Nope. But this guy now sees Sean as a true partner in what he's trying to accomplish. Because when he really does get motivated, Sean, I'm ready to buy this one. Do whatever it takes to get this property. It's really hard when you are more motivated than the client is. So we have to really establish through questioning, what is their level of motivation? Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to you to get this house? What if you don't get the house? Is it okay with you? Can you stay in your current house for another 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 years? In Sean's case with this guy, it wasn't that important. He was willing to write a full price offer, which he did. But as soon as he found out that it was going to go 50 or 100,000 over asking, I'll wait. It's not right for me. And now Sean kind of has a client for life. There's a rapport that has been built, and that's okay. Is Sean putting all his eggs in that basket? No. Let's put this guy over to the side. You just call me when you're ready. I love you. I respect you. You're great. But I also understand that you're in this little box right here, and I'm going to find somebody that needs to buy something right now. And you only know if they need to by asking those questions, right? Really, determining what their motivation is and why it's important and what happens if they don't get the house. How much pain are they going to be in? Is there pain, right? So asking questions, and then also, Phil, with those people that truly are motivated, but that are truly getting bad information, I think that Barry Habib video will be gold for you. You're going to love it because it's going to give you exactly the fodder, the ammunition that you need to deliver just some really valuable information. All right, cool. Anybody else going through any challenges we can bring up as a group and try and work on and work through? All right, cool. Good stuff, guys. Well, thank you for your participation. Go on to thriveordieevents.com, grab your ticket. It will knock your socks off, seriously. And early bird pricing ends next week. All right, thriveordieevents.com. All right, guys, be well. Go crush it. Talk to you in a week. Take good care.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.